Hi friends, welcome to the craft room. Come on in and join me. My name is Susan and actually this is Revive DIY and Upcycled Designs. I am coming on to you live actually on my Instagram account. It's called the Blue White House, NC I think. Gosh, it's been a while since, let me see. I think that's what I call it. I believe so. Ooh, I gotta turn my volume down. Yay! So I am showing up live on my iPad. So, woohoo! Come on and join me, guys. Today we are going to do a project to finish our Chalk Made Hop to It kit. Today is the day we are going to put this together and assemble it. We've done all the hard part. In my opinion, the hard part today is going to be super easy and super fun. But this is what we're working on today, guys. So, if you have tuned in or joined me or checked my, seen my posts the last couple days, hi Dane, I hope I'm saying that right. I think, thank you for joining me. If you've been checking if you've been on here the last couple days, you've noticed that I've been working on elements of this kit. So this is what we call a chalk made kit, which is basically an all-in-one. It encompasses everything you need to make a project. When we have something that we call it as a kit, and by the way, I'm an independent designer with Chalk Couture. That's what I highlight on here a lot of times with my DIYs, and that's what this is today. So we have sold this since February, I think. I don't think it was January. I think it was February. So you might have been able to get your hands on one. If not, we do still have them available, and I'm actually going to see if I can pin this real quick, if I can pin a link to this just to make it easier in case you wanted to try to grab one. Now, I will let you know we only ship to US and Canada, in case you're joining me from somewhere else. We do not have a way to ship it to you unless you're in the US or Canada. That's the only places that we're allowed to sell, and I have just put a comment in there with a link to this in case you still wanted to grab one. They are still available. So it's an all-in-one kit, and it comes with all these elements you see here. So all these things. And I have attached a couple YouTube videos. There's posts on my page yesterday and the day before showing you how we did this step and this step of the instructions, just to kind of get a head start so that when we went to do the final putting together of the project, it wouldn't take as long. I would say start to finish, you probably could expect about an hour to an hour and a half to do this project if you were doing it all yourself, just sitting down and doing it. I could be wrong, it could be less time, an hour maybe less than that, depends on how advanced you are. I did not try to do it ahead of time, so I don't know, but I thought it would be easier to break it down into segments. So the first day we did step number 13, which was creating some tassels. So I taught you how to do that. So we have 2 tassels, and what comes with this kit, the colors that come with this kit are Shimmer, no, that's not right. That's a different one. Shimmer Harvest, Peachy Keen, and Couture Coral. So these are the colors that actually come with the kit. You get all the twine you need. You actually get coordinating ribbons, and you get the bunny cutout pieces, all of the beads that you see here. All of that comes with the kit. The transfer, the chalk paste, a squeegee, everything you need to make what you need. But these are the colors that came with the kit. I opted to change that because that's kind of the idea of DIY, is that you can do it yourself, but guys, you can also change the color scheme if you would prefer to. I am that type of person that I like to change it to kind of go with my preference in colors. So that's what I did. So I just used some of my own ribbon that I already had on hand, and just so you know, all 3 of those ribbons came from the Dollar Tree. I used their twine to create my tassel, and then because that was the colors that I chose, I then yesterday did a project, and there's a YouTube video and there's a post from yesterday where I painted these beads, and I did it 2 different ways. I showed you 2 different options, but I painted the beads. These are all the beads that come with the kit. These were a natural color, just a natural wood color. These were already white. I just added a little bit of shimmer to it. I think you can see the shimmer. And then these I painted Actually did it in a bag. I showed you how you could paint beads in a bag, and I used a shimmer color that I had created. And then these I actually just painted with the paintbrush. I showed you how to do that and how to do it without having to, with your, with a hands-free kind of hands-free. So I showed that yesterday. So that's also available in a YouTube video if you didn't catch that, or if you're on my Facebook page watching this, then you can go back to yesterday and the day before's. You might want to pin those because these are kind of what I call bead painting 101 and tassel making 101. It's kind of videos that you might want to reference back to, not just because of this kit, but you can use them with any project you're doing where you need a tassel or you need to paint some beads. So that's the thing there. And then in addition, I'm getting ready to have company, I believe. Somebody is coming in. I hear my door. In addition, I went ahead and did those ahead of time because they're the more labor intensive or time intensive parts of the project. So we already have all those elements ready to go. That indicated my color scheme. So that is also going to influence what I do today. Sorry, I keep looking at my door because I heard the big door open and I'm expecting somebody to try to come in. So I don't know if anybody will or not. Hang on just a second. Guys. I'm going to put on Do Not Disturb because I forgot to do that. Anyway, how is your Thursday going, you guys? It's Thursday. Woohoo! We're almost to the weekend. All right, so I'm just going to get to it. So today what we're going to do is we're actually going to go start at 1 and go down through the rest of the instructions. If you get a kit, you get these instructions with it. You also get a QR code right here where you can actually put your camera on it and open up a YouTube video that will show you this from start to finish. So, not my video, the company's video. So if you would rather do that, you can do that as well, or you can come back and reference mine. All right, so this is the step-by-step, and we're gonna go ahead and start with number 1 and go from there. Now, I did want to point out one of the elements that this is what we're going to use today. This is what we call a transfer. It's a silk screen transfer, and it's reusable. So you can use it for this project, but then you can save it, and you can use it for other projects that you might like to create. So I did want to point out before I pull it out of its protective sleeve, this is how it comes. But you will notice that right here you have this black sticker on a few transfers, only the ones that came out I think in January and February. Since then we have modified and corrected the problem, but we started with a brand new transfer company this year in 2023, and when they first did the first rounds of transfers for us for our brand new product releases, they inadvertently there is always on every transfer, there's a description down here that tells you it's a SKU number, and it tells you the name of it, and it has some other data on there, like it's going to tell you the year it came out, etc. So inadvertently, they made that mesh. So they made it silk screen just like our designs, and that shouldn't be. So the reason they put this on there is to let you know, either cover that up or just be careful or cut that piece off if you don't want that when you're doing your chalk project. Sorry, guys. Just to make sure. So that's what that black sticker is for, and that's what it's talking about. Going forward from, I think the March forward, you won't see that on there. That problem's been fixed. I do save these because I put my transfers back in them to store them, to keep them safe and healthy and ready to reuse the next time I want to do a project. Because next year I may want to make maybe want to make a nice cute little sign, or I may want to make a little stuffy, or I may want to do some other project where I want to use a bunny with a plaid or a bunny with a flower on it. So I always try to wash them as soon as I get done with my projects, and I also store them properly so that I can reuse them over and over again. Now, I always mark the front and back of my transfers just because when you go to wash them, you want to know which is the front, what's the back, because when you wash it, you want to lay it with the sticky side up, which is the back, while it's drying. So that's why I always mark mine, and then I am going to do, let's see. I label the back as well because you want to put it back on the back sheet right correctly, because if it's not on the right side, it might pull up the paper and then damage your transfer. So that's why I always, and you can just write back if you want. So I'm just going to mark the back of mine. So flower, flower. I'm doing it opposite because of the way I'm going to go put it on it. So there we go. So now I'm all set, and I am going to take my transfer trimmers, which are special design scissors that we sell that are made to work with our transfers. They're coated, and they have an extra long blade so that they don't stick to your transfers when you go to cut them off. You can cut the whole backer sheet with it, which is what the white sheet's called, a backer sheet, or you can just take it like I am doing, and I pull up the transfer a little bit. I don't know what's going on. Sorry, guys. I did take my allergy pill. Or you can take your trimmers like I'm doing and go right along this little silk screen line and keep the backer sheet all whole. I find that doing that makes it easier for me storage-wise, but you do what works for you. And as always, guys, if you have any questions about anything, any of the techniques I'm using or products I'm using, feel free to ask in comments or to send me a message. That's what I'm here for. I love to help you guys. But make sure when you hop on that you do hit the like button, the heart button, and also let me know where you're watching from. I'd love to know. It's so much more fun to craft with friends, in my opinion. So I would love to hear. Oh, I forgot one thing. Hang on a second. It's probably overkill, but we'll get it anyway. I forgot I need my glue gun. It does tell you that everything is included in the kit. The only things that you are going to need are a fuzzing cloth, which is what this is. If you don't have a fuzzing cloth, these are fabulous. They are on my website. It's got one side microfiber, one side terry cloth. If you don't, you need some kind of towel or something that you can pick up fuzz with. So like a hand towel or a, you know, like a microfiber cloth or something that you can put your transfers on to get fuzz. A paintbrush, which you would have needed like we did yesterday if you're painting your painting your beads. And then it does say a hot glue gun because we're going to put little, we even got in the kit, we even got little pom-poms to put on the bottoms. So that's why you need your glue gun and tape. So just like regular Scotch tape. So I already have that. You'll see what we're going to do with that in a minute. But I've pulled out all the elements so that we can see. These are what we call slim cuts, and they're bunnies. They're double-sided. They're already painted white like this. I did not do that. This is how they come. So it is ready to follow the instructions and do exactly what you need to do. You also get, like I said, these cute little pom-poms. I'm going to pull these out because this is just kind of like my extra ribbon and stuff in case I needed it. This twine is what we're going to use today to create our garland, because this is considered like a garland or a swag or whatever you want to call it, a beaded garland. Okay, so I'm going to tell you, we're just going to go step by step. Cut your transfer along the lines to create individual elements. That's what I just did. Number 2, peel off the sheet and fuzz your transfer by gently pressing onto a fuzzing cloth and pulling upward. So this is what that means when you do that. So it doesn't matter which one you choose, just pull one of your transfers off because we're going to only work with one of our guys at a time. You would take it off of the backer sheet, put it on your cloth, whatever cloth you have, and then you put it down and up and down and up. And basically all you're doing, as you can see, this is self-adhesive, it's sticky. We want it to be that way. That's what makes it a fabulous design. But you're just going to put it down and add a little bit of fuzz to it, just to make it so that it's not quite as sticky. Okay? Let's go ahead and do that with both of them. I'll just pull one of each off. Now, I will tell you with this, when you're working with cutouts, whether it's one of our big cutouts or whether it's a little slim cut like this, when your transfer, if you look at your transfer, the area you can see through, that's the silk screen area. That's where the color that we choose today is going to go through. The rest of the area, that's like the teal color, that's vinyl, and that is going to be the color that whatever your image already is. So if you have one that's like this, where it has a lot of open space, you don't have to fuzz it a lot. Just a little tiny bit is all you need to do, because you do want it to hold on to that really well, and you should be able to pull it off with no problem. The main reason you fuzz is so that if you have your transfer on a surface that it really grabs a hold of it, when you go to pull it back, you don't want it to try to grab it so tightly that it actually stretches your transfer. So that's why we fuzz. You don't have to do a lot with these. I'm going to set that aside for a second. Let's see. It does not tell me to do anything at all with the bunnies, so I am not going to do it. Normally, what I would do myself is I would normally, I would sand it a little bit. I might put a layer of wax on it. When I'm working with wood or painted surfaces, I do that a lot. But since that's not what's in the kit, we're just going to go with it the way it is, okay? But if you wanted to, and you had one available to you, you could get a sanding block. They sell these at Dollar Tree. They sell them at the hardware stores, everywhere. You could lightly sand your surface. And you might say, well, why would I want to do that? Well, when I'm feeling this, it's not super smooth because it's wood, right? And wood is porous and it has different, grooves in it. And sanding it just kind of slims or smooths that down a little bit so you don't have as many grooves for your chalk paste to go in. So we don't have bleeding as much. I think with this pattern, it's not going to be a big problem. But if you wanted to do that, you could. You don't have to. I personally prefer to try to do it since I have them available. And you can really tell a difference when you do that. Okay. I hope that wasn't my son needing me. Our kids are, his son, which is my grandson, is on spring break this week, and so is my oldest son, but obviously he's grown. He doesn't need me usually, very much. But I do help out with my grandson all the time, and I hope he didn't need to do a meeting or something because he's finishing up a big project for college. So I'm hoping he didn't need me. Anyway, these are all ready to go. I guess if he does, he'll come tell me. All right, I am going to, it doesn't matter which one you use, I am going to take my transfer now, and it tells you, align the transfer pattern with the shape of your bunny. Smooth it out to make sure it's adhered and there are no bubbles or wrinkles. So you can either do it this way, or guys, you can also, actually I'm going to keep this down here because I don't want the part that's not on the bunny to stick to my table. So I'm going to use this. But you can do it one of two ways. Whoops. You can either do this, and our transfers are kind of see-through a little bit, so it makes it easy to line them up. Or if you'd rather, turn your transfer upside down and take your bunny and put it on top of the image, like where you can see the pattern. So do you see how I just did that? And you can see through, and you can tell whether or not it's lined up. And then if it wasn't, you could move it around a little bit. So it's really up to you how you want to do that. You can just lay it down. I'll do the other one the other way, or you can do it this way that I just showed you. Both work. It's just really a personal preference. And like I said, since our transfers are thinner now and you can see through them well, it does help with aligning them so that you can see whether or not your pattern is lined up on your cutout. And you'll notice these holes are in there. They are already punched because we're making this into a garland. I didn't punch it. It comes that way, okay? But now you can see right through there and you can tell the white part is what we're gonna make a different color, okay? And what it means by smoothing it out is just once you have it pressed, once you have it on your image, you wanna press down on the silk screen. Once you have it on your little cutout, press down the silk screen area just to make sure you don't have any bumps. And if you notice anything on yours, like I see a little something there, I don't know what that is. Like a piece of fuzz or a piece of hair or lint that shouldn't be there, then you just peel it up and pull that off, okay? So I'm gonna put that right there, and then we'll do the other one the other way. I'll just set him on the little sheet, and I will put my transfer over top. And try to line it up. And then once I have it what I think is mostly lined up, I usually pick it up, because even just doing that, it's not exactly lined up. I'll just pick it up and kind of slide it a little bit, adjust it a little tiny bit to fit better, to make sure I have my image, my design on top of my slim cut. Okay, so that's what that looks like. All right, so now it really doesn't matter which color we use first, but you choose. Like I said, you have 3 color choices. The directions, if you look at their example, they've done one of the bunnies in the coral, And they've done one of them in the Shimmer Harvest. The Peachy Keen, I believe they use that on some of the beads. Keep in mind with these single paste packets that you get, if you don't use them at all, just store them and then you have them available for another project. If you do use them, you will not use the entire packet. So I would encourage you to just slice off a tiny bit off of the packaging, squeeze out what you need onto your tray, and then put a piece of tape over that to keep it airtight so that you can reuse those. And if you need additional help with that, just message me. I have tips and tricks in my Facebook VIP group where I show actually how to do that. But if you need instructions, I'm happy to help you with that, okay? Because you don't want to waste your paste. And I feel like I keep looking and seeing stuff. I definitely think I need to wash my, fuzzing cloths. All right. So you pick and choose what colors you want to put on there. Because I went with this color scheme and I'm using these as my color inspiration, I have chosen a green, meadow green, and I have chosen peony pink. So what I am going to do is open both of them. I actually lost the lid for this that seals it, so I have a little piece of saran wrap on top just to kind of keep the moisture in. And I do need to stir that one because I had to add water to it yesterday. I noticed it needed water yesterday or the day before. I don't remember which day. But so I do want to stir it. When you are using the chalk paste, it should be like when I've had this jar for a very long time, but your chalk paste should be the consistency of like a frosting or yogurt, something like that. So if it's not, usually I add a little bit of distilled water to it to get it to the consistency that I want. And as you can see, we're good. All right, now I'm going to take a squeegee. Like I said, you will get a mini squeegee in your kit, and that's what it looks like. And just have I always suggest have a baby wipe or a wet paper towel beside you for your fingers or squeegee only, not your transfer, but for one of those only. And I'm actually going to do the flowers in the pink and this in the, actually, you know what? I'm going to do both of them in one color first, and then I'm going to flip them and do both of them in the other color. That's how I'm choosing to do it. You don't have to. You could say, no, all the flowers, both sides of the flowers are going to be one color, and both of the plaids are going to be one color. I like to change things up a little bit, so I'm going to do the same color on each one. Does that make sense? In each pattern. I want both patterns to have a different color. Okay? You'll see. You'll see exactly what I'm talking about. All right, so you take your squeegee. If you have gotten a paste tray, you get 3 paste trays with your chalk paste, and you squirt that out on there. You just pick it up with your squeegee, and then you just apply. This is the easy part, y'all. Everything else that I have done was the time consuming and the little bit more difficult part. This part's easy. Put your transfer down, get your paint on your paste on your squeegee. Not paint, it's not paint. Do not use paint with your transfers or you will not be able to reuse them. Take that, put it on your squeegee, apply it to the transfer where the silk screen area is. You see I'm just focusing on the silk screen area, and then I'm pulling off any extra. And I can tell whether I got it through there all the way or not, but pull off any extra because it doesn't take much to cover, okay? And then I am going to go ahead on this one because I'm done. I'm gonna show you. I can pull it all up. I'm trying to, all right. So now you can see I've covered the whole area. I'm gonna hold on, try to get a hold of my little bunny back here. This is the tricky part. Get a hold of my little bunny so I can pull off my transfer. And you guys are gonna be amazed. Ta-da! Look how sweet. Isn't that the sweetest little thing? Okay, so that is wet chalk on there right now. That's what chalk paste is, wet chalk. Okay, so you would need to set this aside and let it dry. Chalk paste dries though in about 5 minutes or less. Depends on your climate, your temperature in your room. I have a ceiling fan on. It could be, you know, all of that plays a bearing on it. But this is going to dry on its own in about 5 minutes. I'm gonna set it aside. If it hasn't dried by the time I'm ready to do the back side, I'll just take my air dryer to it, okay? So now I'm gonna do the same thing with this one. I don't need very much chalk paste, but I like to load it up first and then take it off. Pull off any extra. This is so easy, guys. Even kids can do this. Even kids can do it. Now, obviously, if you ordered this now, if you didn't already have it, if you have it, I wanted you to see how easy it is to do and try to break it down into components that would make it a little less time intensive. But if you've got the time and you want to just sit down and do it all in one sitting, go for it. I mean, that's probably what I would have done if I was just a consumer and I was doing it myself, but since I'm trying to teach you guys, I wanted to break it down. Okay? But if you did not get one, you still have time to get one before it's gone. Now, you won't get it in time for Easter, but you can get it and you can work on it next week or another day, and you could still keep it out for, see how that's covered? You could still keep it out for springtime. I don't see why not. Bunnies are around all the time, right? Not just at Easter, but look. Peel and reveal, guys. Look how adorable that is. Isn't that precious? And doesn't that look fabulous with that peony? Oh my gosh, it's so pretty. Okay, so what I usually do, since I'm on here live and I can't go wash my transfers, I wet them until I can get them to the sink and wash them after my live. I do suggest that if you have a jar or if you're not using your paste packets, that you seal it back up as soon as possible, just because you want to keep the moisture in there, okay? Now we're going to do the exact same thing on the back side of these. So I'm going to go ahead and take my transfers off. Now obviously that's not been very long, so I'll probably have to hit it with the, hi Eric, I'll probably have to hit it with my dryer. And again, you don't need to fuzz them a lot. Just a few times. Okay, so. And it does tell you, I didn't say this, but I should have gone step by step. But we did, we actually skipped all the way down. So I went through the process. But it tells you to peel off the transfer, put it on your little bunnies, make sure it's clear, and then it tells you to take your paste packet single. It says, take your single and knead them. That's what this means. You keep it in the pack, don't cut it open before you get started chalking them. I just kind of jumped ahead, sorry guys. I forgot I was supposed to be following directions. I never follow directions. Anyway, this is what it is. You keep it completely sealed and you just kind of squeeze it a little bit. Just almost like mixing it up. That's what it's called, kneading, okay? And then once you're done with that, you're gonna cut a little corner and you're gonna squeeze just a little bit of this, and I would say about the size of no more than a nickel, maybe even a dime, and squeeze it onto your little paint trays that you get with your kit. And it says use a different tray for each color. So you get 3 trays with your kit, but if you're only using 2, or maybe you're only doing 1, you only want it all in one color, then just use one of your trays, but don't put 2 different colors on the same tray is what it's telling you, okay? And then it will tell you to take your squeegee, your mini squeegee, right? I'm gonna grab another one for the next one. Take your mini squeegee and pick up some paste and apply it all over the transfer. See color and placement suggestions, which it's just showing you that. And then scrape away excess paste, like I was saying, as evenly as possible. You just need a thin layer and it needs to be even. You don't want big clumps. And before the paste dries, you want to pull off the transfer. So that's the key. Once you have put all of your chalk paste on there, you want to get your transfer off there as soon as you can. And the main reason for that is because chalk paste dries in 5 minutes or less. And you don't want it to dry in your silk screen instead of on your surface. So if I had left that on there and then pulled it off and it had already dried, most of it would be staying in the silk screen instead of releasing to the surface. So that's why when you pull it off, you want it to while it's wet still, so it will adhere to the surface you're putting it on. And that's with any kind of project you're doing, any surface. And then repeat the same thing with the other patterns, the other bunnies. And again, it does say immediately clean all pieces of your transfer with cool water. So you take these transfers to your sink, cool running water, not hot, not warm, just cool running water. And don't just fill the sink up and stick them in there. That will ruin the adhesion. You want to put them under the running water, and then you want to clean them. Now, if you have a board eraser, that's something we sell in my shop, great. If not, you want to take like a sponge, a light, not an abrasive sponge, but a light sponge, or just your hand, and just wipe off all the chalk that you can from it, and try to focus on the stream on the silkscreen area to clean the silkscreen. And then it tells you dry the transfers with the sticky side up, and then once it's dry, you put it back on the adhesive sheet. Okay, so that's why this fuzzing cloth is great, because the microfiber side is what I use for drying my transfers. So I just stick them down there, let them dry, stick them back on my sheet, and put them back in my little protective thing. So we're gonna just hit these real quick with this is an air dryer, not a blow dryer. It just puts out warm air. This is available in my shop. It just puts out warm air, not hot like a blow dryer, because you don't need hot air. If I was actually painting something with a paint, then I would use a blow dryer. But you want to be careful to keep something hot like a blow dryer away from your transfers, because it can melt them. These are probably, that one feels just about dry anyway, but I just want to be sure, since I've got to flip it over on the other side. And I don't want to rub off my paste. Now, some people call our transfer stencils, and some people call our paste paint. As long as you know the difference, that you're using chalk paste and silkscreen transfers, that's what's important. You can call them whatever you want, as long as you know what they are, and you don't use the wrong thing. The reason why these are better than stencils is because they're adhesive. They've got the silk screen, so that keeps the perfect consistency of your chalk paste in the area you want, so you always get a great design. So that's why they're revolutionary. Okay, so I am going to take my backer sheet again, like I told you guys, and I'm going to set it down here with my little shapes, and I'm going to pull. Now I want to do the plaid on the plaid. I am going to at least keep the plaid on the plaid and the flower on the flower. So I'm going to pull my little plaid guy and put this on the back of him. I'm just going to choose to do it in another color. That way, if I get in the mood to flip around my bunnies, I can have them either color I want. Now, if you want to alternate it and do it differently, you can do it differently. So this is how you do it when you're just from the top, right? Excuse me. And then I'm going to pick it up and kind of make sure I have it lined up. And you can tell, make sure I have it lined up on my little cutout the way it needs to be. Because I want to make sure my design is hitting on my cutout. Excuse me, guys. All right. And then once you have it placed, you smooth it out. Make sure it's making good contact with your cutout. Okay? Smooth out any bumps or bubbles. Good contact. Okay, for this one, my little flower, I'm going to do it the other way that I told you guys. You can do it like this. Put your transfer face down. You see how that's sticky? And then I line up so either way, you guys can try it both ways. And guys, don't forget, if you have any questions about any of the techniques I'm using, any of the products I'm using, please feel free to ask in comments, because it might be the same question someone else has. You never know. I hope you guys are having good weather. I know we've had crazy weather going on in the US. It's been so crazy and so damaging in a lot of places. Our weather is supposed to change by tomorrow. We're supposed to get rain and storms starting tomorrow. Because we're at 84 right now. I live in North Carolina. So right now we're at 84. We've been in the 80s the last 3 days. And then tomorrow I think it's going to be a high of 60. I think that's what it's supposed to be. And then next week it's supposed to be cold again. Okay, so I have both of these ready to go. Again, smooth them down. That way you don't get any bleeds. And this is meadow green. That's the other color I've chosen. And this is what we're talking about. Get some of the paste on your squeegee just like this. Oh, that one's, I moved it. I got it off of the leg. There we go. That one little section doesn't want to hold down. It doesn't have very much silk screen there, so we're just going to go in a downward motion. Then you just take your chalk paste right across your silk screen area. And it's just a light layer. It doesn't take a ton. And then I pull off any extra after I've applied it. Go back and I kind of pull off as evenly as possible. So you don't want streaks either. And then once you're done with that, as you can see, it's completely covered. You want to take it off right away. So that your chalk paste does not dry in your, this is the tricky part, so it doesn't dry in your silk screen. Isn't that cute? He's so cute. I'm gonna set that aside and let it dry. This is why I always have a wet paper towel or a baby wipe. Keep my fingers clean. But it's chalk paste, it's water soluble, so everything comes off. If I get it on me, whatever. But now it'll dry hard to the touch on here, and this is considered a one-time use surface, so you wouldn't be able to just wipe it off or clean it off or scrape it off. You would, if you did, you would have to sand it down and repaint it because it's wood, so it's not made to be reused. It's not like a chalkboard. All right, same thing here. Now, I highly suggest to try a kit if you're new to chalking, just because it has everything you need in it. Some of them are much more simple than this. I have one that I just shared yesterday. It's a mom one. It's related to mom. And it's an all-in-one kit, and it is perfect way to get a project done all in one sitting with everything you need in it. Or if there's something that you're interested in, I can create a bundle packet for you and kind of show you. I do that all the time. Whenever I show a project that I have done, I usually put a link to show you how you can get it, or a bundle that will show you exactly how to create the project like I did. So here we go. One off there. I'm telling you, the hardest part of this is just finding a way to get a hold of the rabbit, so that you can pull off the transfer. Look how sweet. Isn't that so cute, you guys? Oh my gosh, so cute. And remember, these were not the colors that came with this project. I chose to go with a different color scheme because of what I like and what goes with my decor. So you do have the prerogative to do that. You would just need to purchase, if you're not going to just do the kit as it is, you would need to purchase other paste colors. And we do have a lot of paste singles, so you have other colors you can choose from. Okay, so now that we've gotten both of those done, let's see what it says. It says, allow your, this is how I usually do a project, just so you know, if I'm doing it just for myself and not on here. Once I would be done with this, for example, on the other side, when I finished that pink, I would then take my transfers to the sink and wash them. While I was doing that, my surface would be drying. Then I would come back and I would do the green side, and then I would go wash my transfers in the sink, and this would be drying while I was doing that. That way I've got my transfers clean. I know that they're going to be able to be reused. I also wash my squeegees. Your squeegees, you can take that baby wipe you've been using for your fingers and help use that to clean them with just water in your sink as well. But I would do all that, and when I came back, my project would be dry. If you don't do that, or maybe your project still isn't dry, then that's when you would get something like this air dry tool. This is called a quick dry tool. Or if you do use a hairdryer, like I said, use it on the cool setting. Don't use hot. But to make sure, you want to make sure these are completely dry, because you're going to be handling it and you don't want to smear your chalk paste. And your gorgeous design that you just created that looks like you worked hard for and you didn't. So let's see. Yep, one's dry. That. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and turn on my glue gun, because it says once they're dry, you can apply the cottontails. Now here's the other thing. You get to decide. Oh, I don't know if I'm still on there or not, guys. It's telling me I had problems. You can decide which side you want to put the little pom-pom cotton balls on. They only give you two. If you wanted to do one on both sides, you could try to cut these in half and put half on one and half on the other, or you could just go buy a couple little more pom-poms. It's completely up to you. And my glue gun is dead, so that's not going to work. So I am, if you don't have a glue gun, that's fine. No worries. If you don't have a glue gun, get you some kind of crafting glue. You don't need super glue. You know, we're not trying to hold something together forever. Get some kind of crafting glue. This tacky glue works perfectly. So I just want to make sure these are dry. Any kind of crafting glue will work. This is just what I happen to be able to grab quickly. I thought my glue gun was charged. It's not. I do love that was my birthday present last year from my hubby. But I do love the wireless. It's wonderful, but sometimes if I haven't used it in a while, or if I've used it and didn't charge it, that happens. You can use a regular old glue gun too. You don't have to have a wireless. It doesn't have to be heavy duty glue. That's got Gorilla Glue sticks in it. It doesn't have to be heavy duty glue. You're just doing craft projects. And this isn't going to be outside or anything, so. All right, so now I think I'm going to put the pom-poms on the pink side. I think I want to put it, I'm just trying to decide, am I going to do this or do this? I'm just going to put the pom-poms on the pink side. Yes, so you're going to do their bunny tails. So I'm going to put the glue on the rabbit. You put as much as you think needs. Now, the only problem with craft glue is it does take a little bit longer to set up. That's why hot glue is nice, unless you have a craft glue that works quickly. And then you just put those little guys on there. And now they are absolutely adorable. All right, so, okay, there they are. Now, this is the point where, and if you did only have craft glue, if you hadn't already prepared all your beads like we did, we came to class prepared with our homework. No, this was classwork yesterday and the day before, but if you didn't already have all your beads prepared, then now is when you would take the next step, which says add a little bit of the water to your paste in your color trays, mix to create a paint-like consistency, and use a paintbrush to paint these how you want them painted. Allow time for the eggs and the beads to dry. So we already did that. Ours are done yesterday, so they're all done. Now we'll go ahead and move. That would allow your glue time to set up on your little bunny tails as well. I'm going to move those over to the side and just, like I said, hope and pray that they set up for me because I didn't plan. So now this is why you need the tape. So in your kit, if you paid attention yesterday or actually the day before, I pulled out all the elements of the kit. And like I said, there is a YouTube video that's posted to the post on the day with this picture of these tassels. It came with a big, huge wrapped pieces of twine that we used for our tassels. And then it came with a smaller one like this. This is the one we want to work with today because this is what we're going to use to create our beaded part, the beaded tassel part, the beaded, whatever, the beaded garland. There you go. So why you want your tape is this. It works really well with any beads, especially the beads with a little tiny area. You want to take some tape. And actually, I'm going to grab a little bit bigger tape than what I normally do. Normally, I just grab a little tiny bit of tape, and you want to wrap it at the end of your twine. And basically, what you're kind of doing is creating a little needle. Now, if you have a beading needle, then you don't need this. But this just kind of creates a little bit of a pointy end so you can push this through the beads without your twine fraying. I'm going to do it a little bit longer than I normally would just because the eggs are longer, and I'm hoping I'll be able to push this through with no problem. Because the eggs, as you can see, are pretty long to be able to push through. But wrap a piece of tape around the tip of your mid-length twine to help with stringing your beads. Follow our shown bead pattern or create your own. So it's showing you the pattern right here. You can do that or you can do your own pattern. It's completely up to you. Okay. So I'm just going to kind of, looks like it's doing like 2 little, 1 big, 2 little, and then an egg. So we can do that. I can at least follow those directions. So these are the little ones. The blue ones that I did are the little ones. Okay. So I'm going to just feed it through. And I'm not doing anything with this end right now. I'm just leaving it. I'm just not going to push the beads all the way down because we're going to use the end in a minute. But I'm just going to go ahead and do exactly like they're showing me in the pattern. This is the simple part. That, and then one of the big ones. And I did that in the peony, as you can see. The blue ones I did in a shimmer, and I did that to pick up the blue that I already had in there. And you guys, I wish, this is a blue that I created myself, a blue shimmer I created myself, but I wish I had our new color of the month for April called Duchess, because I feel like it's going to match that perfectly. It just feels like it's like that Cinderella blue. So I really wish I had that because I would have used that to paint these. Okay, so just 2. So you create your own pattern, do it how you want. Now these white ones, they were already painted white, the eggs were. I just put a coat of shimmer frost on them because I wanted to, making sure I'm doing it right. See, this is the one that's harder because it's longer. Probably could make it even longer. I actually have this little tool that I use sometimes to help me pull through. I got this at the Dollar Tree or something. I think it came in a kit. Okay, so you're just going to keep going until you have all of your beads on. And I think there was 24 of the small, 6 of the large, the pink. See how that matches? And I only did 1 coat on these as well. And then 5, I think, of the wooden eggs, yes. And this is how you would do any kind of bead, if you're making a bead garland for anything. I always use the tape technique. And I'm like swapping my eggs in different directions. You do it however works for you. And if you wanted to, you could have painted one of these a different color if you wanted it to stand out to kind of show, oh, this is the middle. It's completely up to you how you do this. You can follow the directions to the T, and then you don't have to think about it. It doesn't take creative talent to follow the directions. You can just do. But if you like to be think a little bit outside the box like I do, then modify it. Okay? the whole point, my whole goal with being a creator and coming on and doing videos like this is to share my love of creating with you guys and hopefully either encourage you or maybe educate you, inspire you, whatever it is I can do to share the love of creating. Now, I will say that I have watched this several times being done by other designers just to try to find out if there was any tips or tricks I needed to know beforehand that would help you, my viewers. But I did hear one of them, like they were going to do like 3 of the small, and that made it kind of come out uneven. So apparently with the numbers that are here, and maybe if you're a math person, you do the math and you're like, oh yeah, I just need to do that. Maybe you want to put 4 together and then you want to, I mean, you can work that out however you want, but I did see them say that that was, it didn't work out as evenly when they did it. So you might want to think about that if you do change up the pattern of what they've suggested. Does that make sense? And you guys, if you don't mind hitting that heart button, it just helps me get exposure. It lets Instagram and Facebook know that that people want to see the videos that I'm putting out there, and it just helps my little business. I so appreciate it. And comments help as well, so feel free to leave me a comment. I think I did that differently than I wanted. I did. I'm going to change it. I'm going to change it. This tool has come in so handy, and like I said, I think I got this in a little pack of something from the Dollar Tree like years ago, but it has come in so handy. You just never know. This is the only bead that really needs help because it's such a long area. And guys, I do want to let you know also, we are getting ready to launch another new products catalog. We actually have 2 launches coming up. Next Thursday, the 13th, and then the following Thursday, the 20th, we will be having a product launch. Something's not right. Something's not right. I had to think about it a second. I'm like, why is that not going to work out? It should be matching. So I actually get to do a sneak peek tonight since I am a designer. But on my Facebook VIP group tomorrow, I am doing a private sneak peek that you're welcome. And if you look in my bio, you will see a link, and I do have a VIP group on Facebook, and I will be doing a sneak peek in there, so if you're interested. Otherwise, stay tuned, because next Thursday we are launching new product, and it's what we're calling our Summerbrations catalog. So basically it's going to have lots of summer stuff, patriotic, everything you can think of for that. So next Thursday, and then the 20th as well. Okay, so now we have our beads. Isn't that precious? I mean, that just, well, obviously that could work for babies too. I didn't think about that, but that just screams Easter to me right there. Now I know it has no green on here. I meant to do some green ones. It's okay. I'm not going to stress over it. I meant to do some green ones. I may actually go back on these white ones and just take something little and do a couple little dabs of green just to kind of pull in my little green color from there and my green that's on my thing. I might. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Okay, so once you have done your beads, the next step is number 12. Once all the beads have been strung, attach your bunny slim cuts to both ends of your twine and tie a knot to hold them in place. Simple enough, right? So you're just going to take these guys. You decide, it doesn't matter which way you're putting them on. I don't know if I need another little tiny piece of tape, because you can adjust them whichever direction you want once you've got it on there. I'm just putting this on the other end, so I have my little, you know, needle, twine needle again. And I don't think it matters which way you tie it. But you're gonna put, maybe it does matter. I would say feed it from the underside of the one that you want to showing up. So if you want this one side showing up, feed it from underneath. I think that's going to work better for it laying. I think, yeah, that sounds good to me. All right, and then once you have it, let's see. I guess we kind of got to make sure we have the same amount, although I will be cutting some of this off just to make it easier. I am trying to make it even. There we go. And then tie it in a knot to hold them in place. Now it just says one, you know, I would tie it not just once, but twice. Trying to walk through this like this so that I can show you exactly what you're going to need to do. So I've just tied one little knot, but honestly, just for my own keeping it in place, security, I will do another. That's me. If you feel like it's okay secure with one, do one. So I'm going to do that on both ends. Both of my, cut that just a tiny bit. It got bent over so it wasn't as pointy. Now if you want to grab one of these, you can still do that. I did post a link in the video, or in the comments, I'm sorry. And this video will be available on my page, but it'll also be available on my YouTube channel. If you want to subscribe to my YouTube channel, oh my goodness, guys, I cannot get that through. It's too thick. I do have a YouTube channel. I'd love to have you subscribe and follow along. I try to post demo videos on there all the time. So that glue held up pretty good. I've been messing with it, and it's, now that has a little more give than I thought it was going to have. So we'll just work this down. Now you may totally have liked the colors that came with it. That's the colors that came with it. It's beautiful. Our Harvest Gold, our Harvest Shimmer Harvest is one of our most popular colors. The Peony looks fabulous. And then the Peachy Keen, that is such a pretty color too. So that was the colors that came with it. I changed it up to go with my decor choices, what I like. But you can totally, everything you need comes with the kit. It would not be this color, so I just wanted to be sure you are aware of that I changed the colors. I feel like the colors that they sent with it is a very shabby chic look. I love it. And remember, you can reuse that transfer over and over again. You only get one set of beads and one of the slim cuts, but you can use the transfer over and over again. Okay, so here we are so far with their cute little bunny butts, right? And their cute little prints. So adorable. Okay, next, wrap your long, okay, so the next step would have been to make your tassels, which we already did. I did 2 days ago. Okay, so my tassel's already made, and as you notice in here, I left an opening. There's an opening right there for me to be able to put my twine through. So it says, tells you how to make it, and then it says once you're done with that, okay, trim the ends of your tassels and ribbon to desired. Already did that. And then what you're gonna do is attach it to your, right here close to your bunny, okay? Right here close to your bunny. So you can either use the twine that is already left over, or you could take another piece of twine and tie this up next to it. It's completely up to you. I'm gonna try to do it with this twine because I have it and I have extra sitting here, so why not? So you just wanna feed it through the hole. And tie it to it. And again, I would tie it twice just to keep it in place. You know, obviously, if you do it once, it's going to come off. So tie a knot. And now you have the tassels and your bunnies, and they look adorable. And then you can cut off the end of this. If you wanted to, you could even do a third. You could leave it hanging off of it if you wanted. Or work it into your, try to put it into your, I don't know if you could. Let's see. If you took the twine that was left over and kind of put it into your, what you've already got going on. If you didn't want to cut it off, I think you could just kind of pull it through the middle and have it kind of join in with what you already did for your tassel, if I can find it. Oh my goodness, this is going to take longer than the whole project. Here we go. I'm going to take the hook side, I think. Let's see if I can get it through. Oh goodness, let's just feed it. That's not working. Because I think you could probably just push it through and disguise it. And really, if you wanted to, you could even wait to tie this piece around it. Come on, almost got it. Wow, there we go. Because you could, I think, just pull it through like this and then just trim off the end, and then it kind of blends in with what you've already done. That makes sense? So I just pulled it through. And there you go. That's how you do it. All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining me today live. I hope you enjoyed this demonstration. I need to clean up. I'm going to do the other side. If you have questions about anything I shared today, techniques, products, please feel free to ask in comments, or you can send me a direct message. That's what I'm here for. I'd love to be able to help you enjoy your creating. And I hope, I will not probably see you on here live before Easter. So I hope and pray that you have a wonderful and blessed Easter, and that you will come back and join me next time I go live on Instagram with a project idea, because I love it when you guys join me. It's so much more fun to craft with friends. All right, guys, I will see you next time. And until I do, stay safe and stay healthy and be blessed. All right, see you later.